Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the third episode of...
Installment.
Yes, of Bitch Sesh.
A Real Housewives breakdown show.
I'm Casey Wilson. This is my co-host.
Yes, I'm Danielle Schneider. I really jumped the gun there. Sorry.
Yeah. We're back. We're so excited. We have such a special guest we're going to bring on very quickly.
Yeah. Quicker than others, I would say. She really is. We're really going to bring her on fast.
Not now.
Not in a second.
But very fast. First, we're going to do a little toast to ourselves.
Yeah, a Christmas toast?
I would say, yes, a holiday toast. I have in front of me 3 bottles of Skinny Girl, and we're just going to very quickly taste them. We have a margarita, we have a white cranberry Cosmo,
Ooh.
And a spicy cucumber.
A spicy lime.
Excuse me, spicy lime.
Kind of like that Dorito flavor.
Exactly. Let's just try the original.
Yes.
Yep.
That's us clinking, guys.
And the freezer beeping you're hearing is from us, the chocolate that we've eaten.
We are in the nook, so you hear the freezer beeping.
Go. Woo! Now, I want to say right off the bat that Bethany and Skinny Girl have sent me so many cases of this, and I love it.
No, I think it's really good. It's the original housewife liqueur.
Yeah, if you will.
Yeah.
And the only
Delicious.
successful brand to have ever come out of...
The Housewives. I mean, are we counting True Religion, Ramona's Jewelry?
Or the toaster oven that never was.
Yeah, Sonia's toaster oven. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Okay, I want to just quickly try the spicy lime margarita.
Me too.
Unfortunately, we wanted to do a different type of test at the top of today's show, which was V by Vicky.
It did not arrive on time.
Vicky Gunvalson's new perfume. Sales have dipped.
Yeah, it was
dipped from nothing to less than nothing.
It was a grand price of $14, guys.
I Amazon Primed it. And we really wanted our guests to be able to be wearing it, but instead we're just drinking, sipping. This is the spicy lime.
Okay, let's try this. Ooh, I like this one. I like it a lot.
Goes down nice. Mm-hmm. I like it.
And you get like a little zest and then it disappears.
My only issue with Skinny Girl, and I love it so much, is I do sometimes wish there was more alcohol, but that's my own problem. It's nothing to do with the brand.
That's on you. I like it. It's enough alcohol for me because I get flushed with even just like some mouthwash. Like I get real
for the holidays
to alcohol.
For the holidays, Danielle gave me Leah Remini's new book. What's it called?
I don't know, but it's
Troublemaker.
A troublemaker. Oh, yeah, because she's
Thank you, Karen.
She shakes up Hollywood and she shakes up Scientology. I'm excited for you to read it.
I cannot wait.
Tell me this. The
okay,
poop.
very quickly. This is white cranberry Cosmo.
Okay, let's try this.
Wow,
that's nice too.
I like that.
I'm gonna say I love her drinks. I feel like I taste the hard work, I taste the struggle, and it tastes good.
Thank you.
Bethany. So
take that,
cheers.
Jason Hoppy.
Take that, Jason Hoppy, and don't take it to the bank because you don't deserve it.
And is she dating Eric Stone Street? I'd love to hear any intel on that on Twitter.
That's upsetting to me.
Okay. Okay. Without further ado, we would love to introduce you to our head correspondent.
She's our Dan Rather.
Or a newly disgraced Brian Williams.
Yes. You know, she has once even maybe claimed to have been at the Teresa table turnover, but it has been proven otherwise that she was not there.
Please welcome from Netflix's Grace and Frankie, Burning Love, the amazing Bachelorette parody, and the beloved podcast, How Did This Get Made?
Miss June Diane Raphael.
Wow,
Raphael, sorry. That was my weird pronunciation.
We've been friends for over 10 years.
I've been friends with her for a very long time. She was at my wedding. At my wedding. Did you give me away? I think you might have.
Ms. June Diane Raphael.
It's so great to be here, you guys. This is an honor and a real privilege. So thank you.
And you are a super fan of all the shows
I've seen them all. The only thing I'm behind on is I didn't see this week's Real Housewives of Atlanta, but otherwise I believe I've seen every episode.
You're sort of a historian
of every show.
You even went to Washington, D.C. You're the dramaturg.
Will you be going to Potomac?
Oh.
With the girls?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Casey has informed us, though, that Potomac isn't a real city.
I mean, it is a place. It just feels a little bit like Coto de Caso, just like its own weird...
Coto
a
de Caso
subdivision
is
more than a city.
They're really dissecting a one-gated community.
Like one street. It's what the Kardashians do with Hidden Hills.
Yeah,
it's like there's four houses there. Breaking news, yes. June. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Heather Dubrow revealed on her own podcast that essentially, and we were alerted to this by our Vanity Fair contributor in the field,
Yes.
Richard Lawson. Thank you for that.
About Sonia.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes. This is about Sonia.
I think the white cranberry Cosmo has got me all turned around. So many things are happening.
There's a few scandals that have erupted in the Housewives world this week, and we need to talk about all of them. The one that Richard Lawson, Vanity Fair contributor Richard Lawson, alerted us to was that Sonia Morgan has a competing liquor on the market now.
Called Tipsy Girl.
Have you heard about this?
Ooh.
And supposedly, Bethany is doing her damnedest to stop its release.
Well, I have to say, it sounds like it provides the one thing that Skinny Girl doesn't provide for you, Casey, which is a little more liqueur.
Okay, I am Skinny Girl through and through. I don't need to be I want a fat girl. At my wedding, I had skinnies and fats, but I want them all fat with alcohol. And now she's saying, it's not like a weight loss thing, so she says it's not in competition.
But I think the fact that it ends with a Y and has girl at the end is the point of contention.
Sure.
And the point of scandal.
It's also, I mean, Bethany essentially called her an alcoholic this past season. It's such a slap in the face just there, too.
Well, I feel like maybe Sonia's trying to lean into it a little bit. She's like, well, you called me this, and so I'll become what you fear.
You are the branding guru.
You branded me an alcoholic. I'm going to be one.
Remember when Sonia went to that weird board meeting with Bethany? She was like, ooh, I didn't know it was going to be like
people,
this.
So many titles.
She arrived late.
This one did that, and the other one did another thing.
Very quickly, I am still so upset that Sonia didn't let them in past her foyer.
I'll never forgive it as long as I live.
It was.
As long as I live, I'll never forgive it.
How dare she?
We're talking about the city of New York, where Sonia, in the episode, where Sonia wouldn't let the other ladies into her foyer of her apartment building.
It was cold and raining.
And she made them sit in the lobby in a small, like a vestibule.
And one of her interns, Pumpkin or or something
Chipmunk.
like that, kept the ladies out there.
Yeah.
And delivered the news. She didn't even come out herself.
She said, Miss Morgan wants you to wait in this vestibule.
That was unforgivable. I mean, I'm telling you, my family, my mother did not speak to her brother for 5 years because we came in out of the rain one time and our car had broken down at his apartment in Brooklyn, and he asked us all to take our shoes off immediately when we walked in.
Wow.
And it was like, we were done.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
So have you written off Sonia because of that?
I have. I don't think Sonia's a good person.
I think she's confused.
I'm with you, June.
You
I
think she's
don't
terrible?
think she's a good person.
No.
I think if you got right down to it, she's very charming and she has sex appeal, and that's getting her a long way. Mm-hmm. But she is just as gross as Ramona and the like.
I think Ramona's bipolar, so I excuse a lot from Ramona. But Sonia, I think, is sweet, but I think she just can't focus. She has some ADD issues, so I forgive her.
She doesn't see other people, Danielle.
But do any of them?
Great question.
Do any of them?
When Sonia's teeth pop out, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I don't know if you guys have already talked about this on last week, but there was one moment in Real Housewives of New York, Secrets Are Revealed,
Which I watched.
Sure.
The minute it was on in real time.
where Luann de Lesseps revealed to, I believe, a psychic or one of their mystic healers that she had a dream in which she was a tooth.
What?
Yes.
And it was the craziest darn thing I've ever seen. She said, I'm a tooth and a jawline.
And she's not wrong. Now, the other breaking news we'll quickly discuss is Heather Dubrow and Terry, her husband.
What?
No, they're fine. They're fine.
God.
They'll never part.
God.
I wish.
Joined at the leather hip are those two.
Their accountant ripped them off $2 million. And Heather has posted a wanted ad with like a photo.
Like an old West time, like wanted dead or alive for $20,000. Like he ripped them off of $2 million.
And it turns out that her accountant isn't even a CPA. He is a, quote, tax preparer. That's just sad. You're just preparing the taxes?
Wow. But how do multimillionaires like not realize that someone's not a CPA? Like, who turned them on to him?
I'm telling you, the way they flaunt that wealth on the show, this is, guys, a circle of life.
Wow.
Yeah. But I feel like also, and I'm just going to say it, I have a little bit of Schadenfreude, guys, because they drop $2 million on some wallpaper. And I feel like, it's gross the way that they spend money on those.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, I feel like
and the woman has fled.
It's a woman?
Yeah.
And a man.
See, we can do it too. Lean in, women.
Yeah.
We can do it too. Yes, you
She's
can.
fled?
Yeah, fled the country. I heard word of that she's in England and opened up a new practice there, but I don't know if that's...
Really?
That's word. That's
That's
gossip.
just word.
That's just words.
There's a bounty for her capture of $25,000. Her name is Jennifer Lindsay Bell. If you've seen her, please alert Heather Dubrow. You see Lindsay.
Stay on alert, guys.
Guys.
You see something, say something.
Keep your eyes peeled for, again, that is Jennifer Lindsay Bell and Gary Hoffman. Oh, gosh. Should we transition to tonight's episode, what we all called...
Do we have to?
One of the worst seasons and one of the worst episodes within the worst season.
Just that the horse business alone was depressing and shameful.
It really was for so many reasons. I mean, I know, Casey, you called for a dog to be put down
in both episodes.
Earlier. Yeah. You've said it a number of times. So I know this isn't a group that's very warm to animals in general.
I love animals.
I love
but
animals.
I am an animal supporter and lover.
Do you have one?
No.
I don't.
And you said you refused to ever get a dog.
But that's because
You love them so much?
No, because I know my lifestyle doesn't support a dog right now. Mm-hmm. But the fact that rich people are going around as a hobby and buying tiny, tiny horses.
And refusing to buy them when they get there and the feet are lame.
I'm buying them in general is just
all of it.
And dressing them in
horrific.
children's clothing. Every one of her those geese and those dogs are just constantly in hats and bandeaus,
Fedoras, rompers,
moccasins, socks,
pipes.
And how about that charlatan? What did you call her?
She's definitely catfishing someone online.
100%.
The pony.
That horse.
The pony. She is catfishing that horse online. That pony saleswoman was a charlatan, I think, and she had some nasty business up there. I don't know. I don't know.
Was she catfishing Mary from Sister Wives? That's a separate show that I'm.
I'm
I needed
so ready to talk about that.
so much more information about Mary's catfish than I got. If you have any,
this woman,
much like the capture of Heather's accountant, please send word.
Not accountant, tax preparer.
If you have catfished Mary, please contact me and do the same.
Or the local authorities. But no, that woman that was selling them that tiny horse, who may have been pregnant and or lame, she was shameful. I didn't like her or her long hair.
She was reprehensible, but no more so than Lisa, who had flown out to, Ohio to buy a tiny horse.
And no more reprehensible than Lisa engaging in Lucy and Ethel hijinks.
Just the goofy music alone. And there was so much time spent on this horse. 2 episodes worth of time talking about this horse.
And then we introduced Erica James for a second in what I could have watched a mini-series worth of her life with her husband, who we've actually, I think, all decided seems really sweet. And I take back what I said last week.
He had a nice face.
I still say she has to have sex with that man, and that is tough.
Of course she does. What I could listen to for hours is a monologue that just detailed her journey from cocktail waitress to purveyor of bougainvillea.
Hydrangeas.
Hydrangeas.
That's what I want to know about.
Seemed like
not a 3-legged horse.
Where was she a cocktail waitress? At a classy joint or a hustler cafe? I'm curious.
Most likely the latter.
I don't think she was high stepping.
But then when Yolanda was detailing all the hats she wears, she was like, I've seen her she was basically mom to wife. It was
not a long road.
Yeah.
I can't believe she didn't mention techno music star.
Yes. That's huge. That was a real reveal. I think And that should be in her
Shocking.
bio.
Yeah.
I mean, she's...
I thought that was like self-financed YouTube videos for an older gal.
Doesn't seem like it.
No, it seems like she has hits.
And I'm revealing too much about myself, but I know for certain that the choreographer she's working with, whose name I don't have right now, but is a major choreographer and has been featured on the show Dance Moms a number of times.
Choreographing for the kids?
Yes.
Wait, is Abby not their choreographer?
I know we're veering into Sister Wives and other like
all these veer-offs
TLC
are really...
territory.
I feel like our audience is on these shows and on this trail with us. They
she
all
is, and she
know.
runs the company, but lots of times they bring in other choreographers. And this guy has taken one of the Dance Moms' daughters, Nia, under his wing and is like launching her music career.
How's it going?
Not great. But he is a legit, like he's worked for Britney, but maybe that he just gets paid. I don't know. Like maybe you can pay him
I think
privately.
you can pay him. I think she can pay people.
Sure.
As we've seen, she's going to invest some money in those new tiles, those pool tiles.
I'll say it right now.
whole thing
I
needs
do
to be scrapped.
appreciate the figure she cuts. I do.
I do too.
I do.
I'm attracted to her
In
figure.
Yes.
Not her, well, her
If I
figure.
have to stare at Taylor's skinny, bony arms one more time, like I appreciate she's a woman with curves.
I agree, and I think she's fun. She's just
Me too.
she is a little bit of sparkle in a season of damp.
I mean, watching
it
this one
couldn't
get
be
stuck
darker.
with needles and that one with a lame horse and Vince on the couch
Vince
in
on
his
the couch.
moccasins and track pants.
He is. This is the first time we've seen him in jeans and just like a tailored fit of a pant.
And take your sunglasses off, Vince.
Inside, in the dark. It was. I mean, not in the dark, but it was like a dim day in Los Angeles.
He is a kept, resentful man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, she's looking better and better. I mean, last year she had highlights that were so wrong.
Yeah.
They were so wrong.
Speaking of hair, June, you said you have some comments on Kyle's hair.
Okay. If you're a woman who's over the age of, I want to say 42.
I knew it. I knew you were going to
If
say
you're
42.
over 42, you gotta cut your hair.
Yeah, I believe that too.
And I don't need like a bob. I don't need, like, I feel like the length of Eileen's hair
Yes.
is appropriate.
Yes.
Could it be
You're
to
a grown
breast?
woman. I don't love that.
No. I do feel I don't trust an older woman with long hair. It feels like they're hiding something.
Yeah.
All that hair.
Wow.
I do.
I think it feels kind of fun.
no.
Kyle's hair.
No,
See,
Kyle's
it's
hair needs
silly.
inches off. I know.
Silly. And it's
You have
such
called
a
for
statement.
that in the past.
I have.
You have.
I don't know why I'm taking the other side, guys. I just.
And we turn all the time as we have,
Of course.
have copped to on this podcast.
These
Every
opinions are
week.
going to come and go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't. I
I'm like,
feel
she's
it
gotta
today.
cut it.
What I can say today, in this moment, she's got to cut that hair.
Yeah.
And I feel strongly about that.
It feels like a woman who's holding on to the past.
Yes.
And it makes me feel sad for her, actually. And does she have beautiful locks of hair? Of course. But that
Not
doesn't
about that.
mean she needs to wear it like that. And
And
she's curling it. I mean, it's all so sad.
If I see her on another bridge, I mean, that woman is never not with a locket and a bridge and some water. And I did point out she managed to find a Kyle by Alene Too in Florence. A shit show of a colorful caftan shop.
filled with caftans to the
shoulders.
brim.
A caftan shoppery.
I have seen her shoulders more than I have seen any other part of anyone's body ever, and I include my husband in that. I cannot get away from her shoulders.
It's hard. I feel like a lot's being unsaid in this season because she goes to dinner. All I want to hear about is the wedding, yet we're not getting any of that. And then when Eileen tried to say that Kim ran away from, what did she say?
Escaped. She said she had made like a cuckoo's nest.
She escaped from Witch Mountain and rehab.
She did. I think that's where the word escaped came from in her head. But she's like, I heard she escaped.
And we're not hearing about Yolanda and David. It's like, so instead they're using so much filler. I have to say I'm
What we are
disappointed.
hearing about is a tiny horse.
And guys, I never thought I'd say this, but I really miss Brandy. You know, and
Do you, Danielle? Think about that for a second.
I miss her energy. I miss someone
I do
saying
too.
something interesting. And yes, I did not miss her at the end of last year, but it's so bad that anything is better.
I miss Kim.
True.
Yeah, well, Kim,
of
Kim
course.
will
I
always
miss Kim desperately.
Kim is like a limb that is, she's a missing limb that we all feel. It's a phantom limb that we all know is there, and we feel it, but we can't
That's how I feel
it,
about
and-
Kim's old boyfriend.
that guy, that weird Tom Sizemore, Popo Tom Sizemore lookalike.
That gray face.
That pallor. The scenes of them in a limo were some of the darkest and these eyes have ever seen. Kim has done some very sad car work.
Yes, her car work is that car scene that they reminded us of this episode with her and Lisa Rinna last year that I had to hide from myself while that was going. I think I hid under the bed watching that scene because it was so dark and so you were watching someone break down and I didn't know what was happening. I was confused. I was scared. I didn't know what was happening during that. And then to be reminded of that was reminding myself how much I missed her.
Kim's a very sad case and I believe a sweet woman.
Yes.
I think she is too.
Although, remember when Kim and Kyle hid Brandy's crutches?
Yes.
That has stayed with me. That's something not right about those two little bitches. Like, no, I see them as little bullies.
Yes.
I know, now I'm turned, but I see them as
last a minute.
I see them as bullies. Like, I felt like that was just
I think
shocking.
them together is toxic sometimes. They're sisters, but I think maybe we know what Kathy Hilton felt.
Kathy was dishing it.
Yeah,
not
you're right.
taking
Kathy is the...
There was one moment in, I think, the finale that Kathy Hilton showed up in last year where she's walking with she's walking with Kyle and she like pulls Kyle's hair off of her shoulder. And it is the most chilling moment. And in that gesture, I saw everything.
Wow.
Like she is...
They're under her thumb.
They are under her thumb. She's disgusted by them.
It
and
feels
she
sort of
looks down
Flowers
on
in the
them.
Attic.
Yes.
Even though
Doesn't
she's
it?
married to a man named Rick.
She's married to a Hilton.
Hilton, though, and
Casey.
she is...
like she's dealing in money they know nothing about. Nothing.
I'd like to see Mauricio and Kyle step it up with their house.
Yeah, they're just living like regular suburban people, and they need to...
Does it have a second story?
It does. Now, I remember when she bought the house, she made a big speech about how she had seen this house and was essentially stalking it for years and years and years and said this was her dream house and she wanted to buy it. And then she did. I think it's sweet.
Mauricio's the agency is the number one realty, whatever you call it.
Do you think she should be like living like a Vanderpump?
But the real estate game is tough, and it changes every day. And
All right.
Maybe they're putting their money into their vacations.
they do take that Italy trip.
I mean, if we're going
lasted-
to talk about finances, I'd love to get into Lisa and Ken's.
Yeah.
Well, and we can also talk about that sad 70th birthday party when we talk about their finances, because their finances are strange, and we've all been asking, do their 3 restaurants like support this lifestyle?
I think they were rich back in London.
what?
Way. I don't know.
They tell of having like clubs all over Europe, but I don't know.
That just doesn't feel like money that lasts.
I don't know.
Do you want to speak to Lisa's daughter, June?
Pandy, I have a real distrust and dislike of Pandora.
And what is that based on?
I see her just sort of like standing in the shadows of her mom's personality and like trying to. I did also, by accident, see an episode of Vanderpump Rules when they were doing that cross promotion. And she was like, she had one scene where she was coming down hard on a waitress, and she is not interesting. She is like vanilla. And she has that. This is what really irritates me. She has that half British accent.
Oh yeah,
Nothing
some words.
to me is more disgusting. Some words.
Yeah, like she still says "mummy."
Yeah, and
But
she's
then-
just with that, piece of celery boyfriend, and I just
Husband,
and I just hate them, and I feel like they're around their parents too much.
Yes, they're
It's
always
like, get
there.
out and do your own thing. And they're looking at them so lovingly. It makes me sick.
Where the hell is Max?
Where is Max? We saw not
At
even a
guitar
hair
school?
of him at the 70th. Oh, but I
Is
forgot
he
to
still
tell you
looking
guys.
for his birth mom?
Well, I did hear in some article I read that there's a character on Vanderpump Rules by the name of James Kennedy, I believe, who is a music man and a DJ, perhaps.
What?
And that Ken is managing him.
Wait,
What?
I don't know what that even means. And that Max is in one of his videos. I believe he plays his instrument.
Okay, I'm going to ask a very serious question. Is Max an albino? Dead serious.
Wow.
Dead serious.
I do not
Do
know.
you
That's
understand why I'm asking that question?
it's all of a sudden it lays a different story for me. Like, you know, like
I don't think he's an albino as much as he's
But
like
a
sad,
redheaded albino.
he has blonde hair. He's a sad soul. He's a lost soul. But I don't think he's an albino.
there was an empty chair at that table at the 70th birthday party, and I wonder if they were waiting for Max, much like we wait for Elijah.
But they don't wait. They don't wait for Max.
Seem to be waiting for Max too much. They seem to be going about their business just fine without Max.
Yes.
I mean, maybe he's decided to not be on the show.
What's he
so
doing more
unlikely.
important? What does he have that's so important that he can't be on this show?
What do
Is
you
my
make of
question.
Lisa's daughters?
Lisa,
Rinna.
Rinna.
They're beautiful girls. No? Disagree. I see some looks.
right there.
I'll tell you, they look a lot better than I looked at 14.
At 14 or 15,
I wouldn't even. They're camera ready, all of them.
I know, and like to stay out at 11:30, I would have had nothing to do till 11:30 at that age. No one was calling.
Yeah.
No one. would have sat in my room and listened to my Les Mis album on repeat.
Yeah, I didn't
There was
like the
nothing
sass
happening.
she was giving to her mom.
Didn't like it at all.
No way.
And
Not
we
in my
finally
house.
got to the fruition of Ken being pushed into the water onto the shelf.
The Baja Shelf.
Baja Shelf. And
It delivered for me because when they pulled him up, I had a release of laughter. I mean,
I did too. I
hate
didn't want to
Ken.
see him with wet hair.
I know I'm nasty tonight, but I don't. Ken creeps me out.
yeah, seeing him wet was
very
upsetting.
creepy.
But I felt bad seeing him wet. And when Lisa was pulled in, it's like, this is an elder woman. You can't pull someone into the water like that.
And they all have such thin bones, thin bones from
And thin skin.
that's been pulled. And speaking of thin skin and thin bones, seeing Taylor tonight was a treat and just a reminder of why we don't miss her. I think.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
I feel for Taylor.
Well, she's.
I do too. I mean, look, I do think it was obviously really, really horrible. And you know, this is the thing about this show and this franchise. It's like you see it build people up, and then you see the destruction immediately.
But they
And
come
it's
back for more.
shocking.
They come back
and
for
they
more
all
time
come
and
back
time
for
again because every
more.
time there's a party, Camille and Taylor are there. You know, first one's in, dressed, you know, in a sheath.
ready to go.
ready to go.
If I have to see Camille walk in with that expression on her face one more time, I'm gonna blow my
She's
brains
only
out.
good for like the kissing section when everyone just says hi and then that's
and
all.
then she
That's it.
disappears. They just are like, hey, you guys remember Camille? Here she is. It's like a guest star. It's like they've brought her out again.
I want to call to arms. What are you bringing us next on this series? Because
More Erica
let's get to the
Jane.
Munchausen. Let's get to it. I've never felt an episode feel long. If anything,
They're always too short.
There have been times I've looked at my feed just like, I say to my husband, like, can't believe there's only 20 minutes left. And it's sad. Those are sad things to say out loud. I feel like, oh no.
This one just it was like
Dragged.
trudging along. It was tough and nothing. There was a bright spot of Erica for me anyway, and then everything else was darkness and just kind of plodding and not fun. Where's the fun? Because we had just come off of watching Atlanta, which
Tell us what's going on with
Atlanta-
Kim and the wedding and
Atlanta this week, they literally at one point did what seemed to be a choreographed dance routine.
two of the women were wearing a net cover up that was just bare-assed.
Wow.
And I really
And it was
appreciated
beautiful and it was great and it was fun and it was alive. And to go from that.
Why aren't we doing Atlanta?
Well, that's a question for the ages. I mean, we made a choice because Beverly Hills has always been, in my mind, the jewel crown, but Atlanta is far surpassing it as far as a lot of fun.
I know.
It does concern me. I mean, there was like 3 minutes spent on Lisa and Lisa, like in Ohio, talking about the rain. I mean, that's concerning.
I don't
you
feel
know?
like we've ever been in this position before.
Never.
There
Never.
have been seasons where I thought, oh, we've got nothing. And then
And they turn it around. They always turn it around.
Because I'm not seeing in the previews what I want to see, which is like, I don't see them teasing things.
I'm not
like
seeing a
crazy
shove.
things.
I'm not seeing like
No, I thought maybe they were going to tease like Eileen's divorce, but it doesn't look like that's happening.
Is she getting divorced?
Are you
No,
hoping for
she's
that?
not
I
getting
was
divorced.
like-
No, I just thought maybe something's happening. there.
Well, they
It's
did at
not.
one point have him saying, you're an idiot. I don't know what that is. Not that I want to hear a man calling his wife an idiot, but it's something. It's something happening.
It's something to watch.
something for
Something
me
to
to see.
It's a reason why I'm here. And right now, they're not
Wow.
bringing it. They're not bringing it in any way that seems that seems worthy of our time and worthy of
this gorgeous podcast.
Of these smart women talking about.
I mean, we don't just, tape our podcast on the night of the, GOP debates for nothing and break into them.
This was supposed to be breaking news. We wanted to don't watch that. This is the real news. This is where it's really at. And I don't know.
I will say something. I do think Yolanda is sick.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I actually think as I'm watching this and I'm watching people, refuse to believe it, I'm realizing I think people have a hard time seeing her in pain and not having a reason for it necessarily.
And they don't know about David at this point.
And they don't know about David, but just, and honestly not being able to sit with that. And so saying she's making it up or that she's like, it's a mental issue.
So they're sick, you're saying.
Seems I am saying.
Well, that's something to talk about. Now, that's something that we can.
On that note, we would like to do a smooth transition to a new kind of segment that we would like to call Defend a Housewife. Defend a Housewife.
I object.
And June
These
Diane
segments keep on popping up.
Yeah. There's not many more. June Diane has been since the beginning an avid defender of one Vicky Gunvalson.
And that's not an easy person to defend. No. She has, from the beginning,
loved Vicky through and through, whereas I was a Gina. We had a lot of
issues over that, believe you me.
And I know Gina went off the rails a bit, but she's looking great now.
She does look great.
And I don't think she needs to cut her hair. Anyway,
I disagree with that.
When the time comes, I will tell you to cut your hair.
Guys,
all of us
I
be
honestly
aware.
want to, as soon as I had my son, I was like, it seems so natural. I need to grow my hair out.
And I am longer than I should be, I'll admit that. But I'm not Kyle.
No,
Kyle by
guys,
Alene
we're nowhere
Too,
near Kyle by Alene Too. By the way, I have to admit, I've purchased a few things from that.
What? We have discussed Alene Too on every single podcast.
I know, and I've
What
heard
have you
it.
purchased?
Were you the only one there?
Was it a beach cover-up?
No, it was a pair
wicker
of red
tote?
shorts made by the that other reality star Whitney from The Hills.
Whitney Port?
Whitney. Her line was called Whitney Eve.
Oh.
And I purchased a pair of red shorts that I never wore.
Kyle and Whitney are really scratching each other's backs.
And some other thing. Now my therapist's office is literally across the street.
As
so
is
I
our
spent
dentist.
a lot, and my dentist
Yeah.
too. So I spend a lot of time.
Wow, see, I go to Paper Source when I'm there.
I understand that. I happen to have gone by Kyle by Alene Too a number of times. And you're right, there's never anyone in there.
My sister, we discussed this last week on the podcast, there is a Kyle by Alene Too in Boca Raton. I think it's the
Original
origin
flagship,
story.
but it was also called Two.
It was just called
the
Alene
beginning.
Too.
Guys,
Just
I
wait,
know
wait,
we
wait,
have
wait, wait.
discussed this every single week.
Wait.
Yeah,
Is the one in
here we
Boca
go.
Raton called Alene Too?
Yes, that is
Yes.
the original name.
TOO.
Great. Let me posit this. Is the store in Beverly Hills saying this is an Alene Too store? Okay. I've heard you guys talk about it, but I'm going to bring a new,
great.
New wrinkle?
bring a new wrinkle to it. Is it saying these are Alene Too's clothes, but I'm going to put my Kyle spin on it, and it's Kyle curating the Alene Too line?
But now the Boca Raton store is also called Kyle by Alene Too. It has moved.
You didn't say that last week.
Oh no! It has.
This is breaking news.
This is breaking
Did I
news,
not
and we
say
might
that?
need to
And
move
my
this to the
sister-
top of the show.
And my sister has sent me. I guess her child's school is doing a fundraiser sponsored by. This week she sent me an email saying it was.
I don't think they have the money for that.
They're
Someone do a
sponsoring
Google
it.
image search for Alene Too.
Yes. Anyone? Can any of our listeners please tell us what this Alene Too person is? If they could wiki her, that would be really important.
So I'm sorry. Last question. What was it called before Kyle?
Alene
Too.
Just Alene Too. And I know
3 episodes on this. We have had 3 episodes.
Eileen too.
We were unpacking.
Okay, but what was Eileen thinking when she named that? She's just like,
Here's my other theory.
Eileen too.
Here's my theory, you guys. Alene Too is a designer who Kyle loved.
That's true.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kyle became so obsessed with these long flowing muumuus and all of her caftans.
See, that would make sense if it was just called Eileen, and then Kyle's like Kyle by Eileen too.
Because I think what Kyle wanted was a store of her own.
And she just put her
So
name
she
on
was
somebody else's?
by the way,
Guys.
that real estate in Beverly Hills is expensive. expensive.
But isn't she on like the board? Didn't she throw a party for the board?
For the Beverly Hills Commerce Society or whatever.
Speaking of parties, you brought up, why isn't anyone throwing a party? Let's get
they would.
I
We just saw one at Kent's. I think
see one.
That
we
was
saw
a
one.
sad party. That was a tea party that turned
And
into
it's sad that even in
mess.
the edit, they literally have to have one of the characters saying she's bored. It's like,
Yeah.
well,
No.
if you can't drum up anything. All right, back
let's
to defend the
defend the
housewife.
Housewives.
So
June,
sorry.
before we start hearing about your love for Vicky, which is undying, I have heard June yell about Vicky. Vicky's, is it your Instagram and your Twitter?
That's right.
Photo is Vicky Gunvalson, and Brooks and Vicky have come after you asking you to change
A
it.
number of times.
And you have stood your ground and not done so,
Yeah.
which I am proud of you for.
Thank you.
Very proud of you. Would you do a little reading? Now, this is a testimonial from Vicky. This is a very, very deep cut. Mm-hmm. But I think it sets up Vicky so beautifully.
Vicky travels to a summer home, a winter home in Lake Havasu.
Yes.
We all know Lake
She's
Havasu.
a house in Lake Havasu, and this is called Finding My Way Back Home. Vicky on Lake Havasu. The people in Lake Havasu are real people. If I was in a wheelchair with a tube coming out of me and I was paralyzed or whatever, they would be there to change my diapers.
I mean, that's some truth. That's Vicky speaking truth.
Finding my way back home.
I mean, and truly, it's interesting that you brought this up as our entree to Vicky. She does belong in Lake Havasu. And I feel if Vicky is happiest in Lake Havasu
Or
floating
Or at,
Vallarta.
or at Andalays on the bar.
or
Puerto
at Andalays,
Vallarta.
or Puerto Vallarta. But like Lake Havasu is even, I've been to Lake Havasu.
As a mecca, you followed Vicky there? Like, what
Like
were
people
you,
take the Sex and the
Dollywood.
City tour.
Yeah. It's really not a great spot.
No.
No, it's not a great spot.
It's in Arizona?
It's in Arizona. It's like a real party
Ooh.
town. Like, it's gross. And it's like lots of people like on floats, like floating around with liquor and just drunk and insane. But it's like
On like a
this
still
is-
body of water.
Yes, a still like gross body of water. But like this is what makes me sad and where I have a lot of sympathy for Vicky is like her not knowing that she should be in Lake Havasu. You know,
You act
that's
as
where
though
she
Orange
would be.
County is like...
Is the classy, is the...
No, but it's demanding too much of her. Like she
She is an insurance saleswoman. I mean, that
but
feels
she can
right.
do that from anywhere.
Right.
You know?
From Lake
should-
Havasu, is there insurance?
Well,
Are
when-
there people that need insurance, that like
I
get
remember
insurance
when we
that
first-
value life
Honestly.
enough?
When we first met Vicky, and remember how she'd had so much plastic surgery, and she had a kind of spark of life, and she was in the car with her mom, and her mom was just so stunned she kept changing herself.
But now Vicky's face is settled, and maybe so has her
I mean, here's
Location.
has her location.
Look, here's what she should never have divorced Don.
No, I think we
Never.
all know that.
I think we all know that, and that
She
was a
knows that.
horrible mistake. And that's where I will defend her. And I know a lot of stuff happened on the season where she's just like, there's some things that are indefensible. But I did appreciate that she came out and said, look, Don has never said a bad word about me in the press. And it's interesting now she seems to have so much respect for him. Will he ever take her back?
No, he shouldn't.
think
It's
so.
not healthy for him. If, you know,
Certainly
and Don was her rock, and maybe he wasn't the most exciting guy around, and she was looking for romance a little bit, but she found him in a liar. And a
Do you remember that
thief.
clip of Vicky? It was at the Bo party at Heather's. You know, when that girl ate a bit of the
course.
icing with Bo.
Oh, at
Her
Heather's
name was
name-changing
Sarah.
party?
Yeah, Heather's name
Never
changed.
heard from her again.
Never
No.
heard. But do you remember they show the clip constantly? But when Vicky's screaming at Tamara and she gets like her words, and she's like, you're supposed to be my sister, my soulmate, my sister's soulmate. It is so. I've never seen someone that mad, and except for myself. I have. It seems I'm defending Vicky now. I'm taking off my sweater.
You're getting hot.
I felt her. I was like, she's fucking so angry.
Yeah. Oh, she has a lot of anger.
But do
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you think she knew that Brooks did not have cancer? To not go to a treatment with him means something's up. She knew something.
I don't think she didn't know he had cancer. I think she was like willfully ignorant. I think what I find even more disturbing is that I think she did think he had cancer and still didn't go to any doctor's appointments with her. She just is incredibly selfish and just didn't go and didn't want to make the time for him. She's not up for. I mean, look, this is the truth. Vicky Gunvalson is not going to take care of a sick husband.
No, she is
not
not
at this stage of the game. Like
Not
that's
when
not what
she's
she
paying
signed up
Dawn
for. Not when-
palimony.
No, and not when she fixed Brooks's teeth and did all that stuff and tried to gussy him up. Like she didn't sign on for sick. For a sick guy. So,
But I think she was hoping that this sickness would provide people sympathy for them and for him, and that didn't happen. I think she wanted people to like him so
I missed her
desperately.
friendship with Tamara.
I do too.
I felt like that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, there was something underneath it that was like so desperate on both of their parts. That was always a little uncomfortable.
And I feel that now about Lisa and Kyle. It's like two people just holding on to each other like life rafts on like a lazy river.
Yeah.
In Lake Havasu?
What attracted you to Vicky in the beginning?
Well, Vicky to me represents like to see someone living out loud their insecurities so boldly. I mean, to have all of her insecurities and deepest, darkest fears on parade at all times and unabashedly and shamelessly. I find it to be amazing to watch. I really do. And I do think she loves her kids. And I do think she has some self-reflection when she I think she does see now that things really went south with Dawn, but she's just so desperate for love. That's where I have sympathy for her.
I see that.
That's where I have sympathy.
I think you pled your case, and I think we understand it, and I think we come at you.
I'm sorry to hear, is she so hated now? I guess she is.
think she's
That's why
very
she did
hated.
that one-on-one with Andy.
Yeah, I think she's very hated. I think people are
Brooks
angry.
told all as well. And, I maintain,
He
sadly...
drank 1,000 sips of water during that interview.
He's like an old-timey, Tennessee Williams
I know
villain.
he really is. I do declare, I say. He's like a lawyer in a Southern court. It's so strange, and it's so It is, and he smacks of just deceit and
Oh yeah, he's like an old-timey peddler.
yeah. And so she got swindled and we saw it. So I think you defended her.
You really did. So we'll just take very rapid fire 2 questions that you guys have emailed us, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay, so Julianne Gabert, I hope I got that right, said, curious to know who your favorite demoted Real Housewives of Beverly Hills person is. Taylor, Camille, Brandy, Adrian. Who are your favorites, guys?
I miss Adrian.
Wow.
Really? She had the worst hair for a rich person. I couldn't believe that she had all the money in the world and couldn't take care of that hair.
I know. There was something so strange about her.
Yeah.
Her voice was all kind of one note like this. There was a different energy coming off of her that now I'd like to see.
Yeah, I hear that. And Casey?
I mean, I do miss Brandy now that you're saying it. And last season, I was like, this is a bad person. I hate her. I hate how she's trying to drive a wedge between Kyle and Kim. And I found her so manipulative. But now I'm kind of wishing she would breeze on through.
Yeah.
Wait,
I
guys,
think she will.
Remember when they cut to that scene from last season? Who was yelling at who? Kim climbed over a median?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that scene at all.
It was
Did we cut that
black and
out?
white grainy footage.
But we did watch Kim escape.
with Lisa Rinna and Kim.
Climbed over a wall to get out of
Griffith Park?
I want to say they were on a hike, but they were both in civilian clothes.
They were on a steep road in the middle of who knows where. So that was strange. Another question from Eileen Malloy.
Alene Too? No.
If Alene Too would write in, I would.
We would
And
love-
by the way, I do think it is Alene Too.
Yes, I've been mixing that up, which the viewers have let me. I mean, our listeners
Another
have let me
viewer has
know.
come down pretty hard on Danielle and for Lyme's disease.
Yes,
and she would like us to refer to it from henceforth as Lyme disease.
So we thank you, our listeners,
Apologies.
for correcting
we're
us
all
when
learning.
we're wrong. We're all learning. We're all humans. We make mistakes. But Eileen Malloy says, need thoughts on Teresa's prison release December 23rd and how you believe the Giudice's Xmas will go.
Wow. Is this the first Christmas without her?
No, this is the first Christmas. No, she's going to be home.
gonna be
December
released on the 23rd.
But she literally left New Year's Day last year, so it's been a year.
And when does...
And then Joe goes, I think, pretty soon after.
And not only that, but then they made all be deported.
Deported where?
To Italy.
So this is going to be this is a hard candy Christmas.
I mean, it is a dark situation. It is a dark legal situation there.
Yes.
They might all have to go to Italy.
Which, I'm sure they will see Kyle there. She's always standing on a bridge.
Throwing a lock over with her Mauricio.
But I think it's going to be good for the kids. I couldn't watch that Teresa checks in stuff. That was too sad for me to watch those kids
I
talk
watched
to
it
them.
all.
And you've also been keeping up with Caroline Manzode with
Yeah,
children.
I've watched all of Mansfield with children as well.
And thoughts?
Mansfield with children is a little tough because you got to get through a lot of like bridal stuff and a lot of like daddy, like the dad loves the daughter so much and he's like giving her Cartier love lockets and it's just like a lot of gross wedding stuff. But I love Caroline.
I do too.
I really do.
Casey
I love her.
staying strongly on the other side of that.
I don't like
But
Caroline.
I'm a big Manzo fan. I love the Manzos. I want to be a part of that family.
Yeah, I like the Manzos. I really do.
I would
Why
like to
don't
be
you
involved.
like her?
I don't know. I don't know. You know what show I love is Don't Be Tardy.
That's
As
a
do I.
great show. Don't be
Kim
tardy.
and
The cook.
Croy.
the cook, is the finest character that's ever been on
I'm
television.
forgetting her name right now.
I
She's
can't either.
Giving me life. I love that woman.
Everything she says is amazing.
I like to watch Kim Zolciak. I'll watch anything and everything she does. When
Kim's a good person.
I agree.
She has no sense of humor about herself, though. Not when I met her on Watch What Happens Live, and I asked her some questions and
first
wanted to get
person account.
involved.
Wow, okay.
Sorry, guys, not to drop. I was bartending on Watch What Happens Live,
okay.
and she was the guest. She was up front. I was in the back, and she just didn't seem to have a sense of humor. Like when Andy would ask her about her surgeries and stuff, she was kind of coy and was like, "No, it didn't happen." When it's so like if you just look at a picture, it happened.
Or was she cruel?
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow, bringing it deep. But so I'll watch anything she does. But I was sort of sad meeting her that she wasn't as fun and kind of had a sense of
they
humor
never
herself.
are.
Love any intel about her and her mom, guys.
I'm
this
upset
has been,
about that relationship,
I am
but
too.
anyway.
Right.
Before we part, we also want to say, can you if you like it, go to iTunes and
Rate us, or write a review.
or something. That would be great.
And again, so much appreciation that no one tagged any of the housewives with our
every week,
monstrous comments.
because again, as you see, week to week, they still change.
Oh God! I'm like, I love Kyle's hair. Guys, one last announcement. We are off next week for the holidays, but we are back December 29th. And
Now, is the show on next week?
Yes, it is on. But we'll check in and we'll talk about what happened in
absolutely.
that episode, if anything happens.
I mean,
and everything on the 29th.
I'm sure it's all going to happen next week. But on the 29th, you have a real treat. I will be out of town, but Playing Houses and Bridesmaids, Jessica St. Clair will be co-hosting. And she also hates the Housewives, so it's going to be
so it'll
very
be really
volatile.
interesting. And then our special correspondent that night is from Ugly Betty
She's
fame.
also a very devious little maid.
Anna Ortiz. So we're really excited about that show on the 29th. So even though we won't be here next week, please tune in the 29th.
Guys, thank you for listening.
I'm sorry, the 30th. We do it the 29th, but it will be up the 30th. I'm so
Exactly.
sorry. Oopsie. I've
Guys,
made many mistakes.
it was what it was, guys. We're human.
Thank you, Miss June Diane.
Thank you.
I mean,
Please
I was thrilled to be here.
watch June Diane Raphael on Grace and Frankie playing the same character as Vicky's daughter, Brianna.
really
Although Andy corrected some pronunciation of it. He kept on calling her Brianna.
Oh,
And I think
that's right.
her name is Brianna.
Oh, I think I've been saying Brianna.
Yeah.
We all have.
I can't hear any difference between what you're both saying. Guys, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Have a happy holiday.
Bye.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Ackerman, Adam Sachs, and Chris Bannon. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.